Jake Paul's California mansion has been raided by the FBI, multiple news organizations report. You can see in this aerial footage agents in uniform outside his home in Calabasas.
You know what's funny about your brother? Your brother talks more shit than anybody else on the planet. They're trying to sue people when people talk shit. There's people out there saying they're fake fights, they're fixed.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua is a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again.
Once again, Jake Paul is at the center of a controversy that could seriously damage, or even end, his boxing career. New accusations have spread online claiming that Paul may have helped plan or script parts of his major fights, including the widely discussed Netflix event involving Anthony Joshua. Some online users have even gone as far as claiming that Jake and his brother could face legal trouble over these allegations. Although promoters and boxing officials have strongly denied that professional fights can be fixed without major legal consequences, the doubts surrounding Paul's authenticity inside the ring have now reached their highest level yet. For someone who already has a history of legal attention, including a past FBI search at his Calabasas home, this situation only adds to the growing pressure. With his reputation under more scrutiny than ever, many fans are now wondering whether this moment marks the collapse of Jake Paul's fast and controversial rise in boxing.
Have raided the Southern California home of YouTube star Jake Paul. Federal officials say the search was part of an investigation. Wendy Birch is in Calabasas with what we're learning tonight.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home located in this gated community off of Mulholland Highway. We counted close to 24 federal agents, some of them in tactical gear, entering the residence. Why they were here and what they were looking for, that remains unclear. The federal search warrant.
For several years now, boxing experts, former fighters, and promoters have openly questioned Jake Paul's legitimacy, long before the recent rumors about arrests or scripting ever appeared. From opponents who were clearly past their prime to strange fight rhythms, delayed knockdowns, and contracts rumored to contain unusual restrictions, critics argue that Paul's path in boxing feels carefully controlled rather than naturally earned through competition.
I'm curious about this because, like, you know, you saw the Askren fight, we saw these fights that he went into. The Fury one obviously didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, just because I was so convinced that, like, Jake had these fights fixed, and there's a lot of people who talk about the fights being fixed because it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they tell me that too. They're like, tell me you're not going to take a fall against Paul. Everybody says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You could have paid me all the money in the world.
Experienced figures in the sport have repeatedly stated that while Jake Paul brings attention, views, and money into boxing, his fights rarely place him in real danger. This has led many to believe that his matchups are designed to protect his image instead of truly testing his ability. Over time, each new controversy adds another layer to a growing belief that Paul's boxing story is driven more by marketing and control than by the raw uncertainty that defines real professional boxing. In the past, the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight drew major interest because of its drama and intensity. When rumors surfaced of a leaked script suggesting the fight had been planned, the internet quickly erupted. Alleged audio clips also circulated, claiming to support the idea that certain moments, including Tyson appearing tired before Paul's win, were staged.
If that Jake Paul fight was set up.
What happened to me is what was going to happen to him had he dropped those hands. If I say, Rampage, I'm going to pay you $2 million, right? Let this dude beat you, what you going to do? You're going to feel disrespected, number one. Right? That ain't enough money. For me to do that, I got to be willing to walk away for good. Something like 20-something million where I can invest it and fall off in the shade. Because
after defeating Mike Tyson, Jake Paul confidently spoke about his performance. He stated that he was barely hit and did not feel seriously hurt at any point during the match. His fans viewed these comments as proof that he had clearly outperformed a legendary fighter. However, critics quickly responded by pointing out how little risk and tension there appeared to be in the fight. Many argued that Tyson's showing lacked intensity and questioned whether the contest reflected a true competitive battle.
Is $1.3 million. Again, that's over the course of the person's entire life. Jake Paul earned 30 times that in one night. People talk about winners and losers, like
the upcoming fight with Anthony Joshua has drawn similar criticism. Many observers have described the matchup as strange and uneven, highlighting the massive gap in experience, size, and background between Paul and Joshua. A former two-time heavyweight champion facing a YouTuber-turned-boxer with a 12-1 record has caused many to label the event as more entertainment than legitimate sport. Some analysts believe Paul is being used as a financial attraction rather than a serious challenger, further strengthening the idea that the bout is designed more for spectacle than for competition.
Big as the what?
Why was Mike wearing assless chaps though? In it,
did that moment go viral with his cheeks out?
I don't know. It made my stomach hurt.
I was seeing it.
Why didn't he have underwear on?
He had a G-string on, is what he had.
Almost. I thought he was completely butt naked.
Nah, he looked like a stripper.
But yeah, biggest live gate, 18.1 millions in U.S. boxing history outside of Las Vegas. A phenomenal night. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out though, guys.
Shut the fuck up. It was crazy when we talked about this. I told him you're gonna say some dumb shit. You did the right thing at the end.
At the same time, Jake Paul has shown an unusual level of confidence heading into this fight. Commentators have noted that he appears fully convinced in his ability to rise to the occasion. Unlike some of his earlier appearances, Paul now seems more focused, disciplined, and mentally prepared. Analysts watching his training believe his mindset is just as important as his physical condition, suggesting that he understands the scale of the challenge and views it as a chance to validate himself on a global stage.
Fake Paul, I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the Dubois knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
No. How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
It'll be over.
Despite this growing confidence, many veteran analysts remain skeptical. They argue that Paul's belief in his ability to challenge someone like Anthony Joshua does not match reality. Joshua's experience, championship background, and proven stamina far exceed anything Paul has faced. Some observers have even questioned whether Paul relies on performance-enhancing substances based on his physical development and conditioning.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy.
Even with all the controversy, large amounts of money are being placed on this fight. Betting has become a major part of the event's attention, with fans, casual gamblers, and public figures all placing wagers. This has added another layer of debate over whether the fight is a true sporting contest or simply a heavily promoted entertainment event.
Natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I wanna make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe.
As the leaked script rumors spread, fighters who previously faced Jake Paul also came under criticism. Some fans accused them of damaging their own reputations by taking part in fights that appeared staged. In Mike Tyson's case, many people speculated that he sacrificed part of his legacy by participating in a bout that did not feel genuine.
This fight. Do you think it's actually, so you think that Jake Paul...
You couldn't fake it. Do you really think Anthony Joshua's going to put his whole livelihood on the line for Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
there could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where they have a handshake.
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So we're
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some old. So it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, 6 foot. Was he 6'6"?
About that.
Fucking. What's he 16? What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's
so
that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah, but do I think he's improved enough to make competitive? Unless I close my eyes and Josh is completely shot to bits, no.
Yeah, and so is the potential that Jake Paul, like, I know you keep saying no, I know you're right, but is there a world in which...
Viewers also noticed unusual moments during Jake Paul's fights, including claims that Tyson whispered instructions to Paul and that referees appeared to subtly guide his behavior in the ring. These details fueled further suspicion of choreography and scripting. Matchroom Boxing CEO Eddie Hearn has strongly denied that the Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul fight is fixed, stating that if it happens, it will follow full professional rules and will not be an exhibition or scripted event.
8. This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5, but that one was clearly not real or an older script. This will give you goosebumps. I'm just going to read you parts, but if you want to see the full script, I'll show you it at the end. Round 1, opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened. Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And round 8 wins by decision and bows at the end. This is crazy. Subscribe if you want to read it yourself.
Frank Smith has added to the debate by arguing that the Joshua vs. Paul event is designed more as entertainment than as a true sporting contest. He described it as something created to shock and sell rather than to measure skill. Smith also mentioned that he still hopes a Fury vs. Joshua fight can happen, calling it the biggest matchup in boxing. He expressed optimism that by 2026 it could finally take place, while also reminding fans that many big fights fail to materialize due to contracts and negotiations.
100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing glove throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. For those of you who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight. That should be enough.
Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has also responded to the scripting claims. He joked that the only script involved is Joshua's plan to knock Paul out as quickly as possible. While meant humorously, the comment highlights how widespread the rumors have become and how much effort is being spent to shut them down.
Ruining his legacy just by taking this fight. Fans don't respect what he's done in the sport already. He's an Olympic gold medalist, 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight? It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. It wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going in there to knock out Jake Paul.
Sorry, just to silence all the doubters here. You know, a lot of people saying this can't be real. You know, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's going to it's going to be choreographed, and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua. Just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People asking why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, you know, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out. but we're in for a bit of fun and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this, and I don't think he quite realizes. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is still sometime in 2026, AJ against Tyson Fury, and Turki Al-Sheikh's working on that, is he?
That's the fight we want to make. That's the fight we want to see. Look, we're all guilty of doing a lot of talking over the years and that not happening. So I don't want to talk too much, but that is definitely what we want to see in 2026. It's one of the biggest fights in the sport. And
It's obviously scripted, isn't it? I'm like, no. One, that's illegal. I mean, this is a professional contest. Two, we would never sign up to anything that's going to make AJ look bad or devalue him, lose rounds, go loads of rounds.
Do you think there's any world in which AJ pulls back, though?
Absolutely. He couldn't do that as a fighter. He would be incapable of going in there and holding back. I mean, I think the only thing that's a bit harsh is if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the first round, he should be ashamed of himself. Like, Brian, give us 2, or 3. Because if Jake does move, he can look after himself. It's not like he's just going to get one shot round.
Do you believe this is the final chapter of Jake Paul's rise? Or is this just another controversy he will survive? Share your opinion in the comments.